I'm Jake, 24, born and raised in the misty outskirts of Seattle, Washington. Life here's predictable rain coffee shops and endless evergreens. I'm slogging through my third year at college majoring in business, though I'm not sold on it. I live in a cramped apartment, paint peeling off the walls with a roommate who's practically glued to his girlfriend. Most days, it's just me scraping by on rent and groceries. I drive for a local pizza joint. It's not glamorous, but it pays. Truth is, I like the simplicity. Drive, deliver, repeat. No pressure, no drama. That day started like any other. I had a stack of orders and a dull headache from binging a true crime docuseries past midnight. I grabbed my keys, threw on a faded hoodie, and stepped into the gray drizzle. Routine. The first few deliveries were standard: a noisy family, some ungrateful teens, a guy who tipped so generously it felt suspicious. Then came the last order of my shift. Large pepperoni extra cheese. The address was in a quiet, upscale neighborhood I rarely hit. I thought this'll be quick. I pulled up to a sleek 2-story house lawn, manicured to perfection, like something ripped from a glossy magazine. I walked to the door, pizza box in hand, double-checking the receipt. I knocked. The door swung open and I froze. There she stood, a woman who could have stepped off a billboard. Maybe 42, maybe younger. Hard to tell. Her auburn hair cascaded over her shoulders, soft and fiery, catching the light. Her emerald eyes locked onto mine, pulling me in like a riptide. She had this effortless grace, the kind that makes the air feel heavier. She wore a simple cream sweater and dark jeans, nothing flashy, but her presence crackled with something electric, something dangerous. I cleared my throat, barely managing, your pizza. She smiled, slow and deliberate, a curve of her lips that hinted at secrets. She took the box, her fingers brushing mine, sending a jolt through me like a live wire. Then she tilted her head, her gaze piercing, and said in a voice smooth as velvet but sharp as a blade, "If you're brave enough, stay." My heart slammed against my ribs. Was she joking? Testing me? My mind spun, caught in the pull of her words, her eyes, her everything. I stood there rooted, feeling the weight of her stare. She wasn't nervous, not a hint of hesitation. She enjoyed my obvious discomfort like a cat toying with a mouse. My cheeks burned. I gave an awkward laugh, shaking my head. Gotta go. More deliveries." She shrugged, that smile still playing on her lips like she'd known I'd bolt. "Suit yourself," she purred, her voice dripping with heat, then stepped back inside. The door clicked shut, soft but final. I stood there, heart pounding, her words echoing in my skull. "If you're brave enough, stay." I practically jogged back to my car, cursing myself for acting like a nervous kid. It's nothing, I told myself. Just a weird moment. Don't overthink it. The rest of my shift blurred. Her face flashed behind my eyes every time I blinked, that smile, those eyes, that voice coiling around me like smoke. Back home, I collapsed on the couch, still seeing her. It was ridiculous. She was a customer, a stranger, older, way out of my league. But no matter how hard I tried to shake it, she'd burrowed into my head, her presence lingering like a fever. Weeks passed, life settling back into its dull rhythm. Classes, work, late-night deliveries, microwave dinners. I tried to forget that electric encounter, but sometimes I'd catch myself staring into space, hearing her voice again. "If you're brave enough, stay." I chalked it up to a fluke, some quirky customer with a strange sense of humor. She was older, untouchable. I'd never see her again. Then, one Saturday afternoon, the sun finally broke through Seattle's endless gloom. I went for a walk in a park near campus to clear my head. The air was crisp, kids laughed, couples strolled with their dogs, and distant laughter carried on the breeze. I had my earbuds in scrolling through my playlist when something made me stop cold. There, in the corner of my eye, I saw her. Vivian. I didn't know her name yet, but it was her. That fiery auburn hair caught the sunlight like a blaze. She moved with that same effortless grace, head high, like she owned the ground beneath her. She wore a simple olive coat, fitted jeans, and a scarf draped loosely around her neck. Panic hit me like a freight train. I looked away, pretending to mess with my phone, my heart racing. What are the odds Seattle's not small? I told myself to keep walking, act normal. But I couldn't. My eyes kept darting back. She noticed. Our gazes locked. She smiled, not the teasing smirk from that night, but something warm, real. It disarmed me, left me raw. She walked toward me, calm and deliberate, each step tightening the knot in my chest. I yanked out my earbuds, trying to play it cool. "Hey," she said, stopping a few feet away, her voice like a soft blade. "You look familiar." I nearly choked. "Yeah, I delivered your pizza a few weeks back." Her eyes lit up with recognition. Right, the shy delivery guy. I wanted the ground to swallow me whole. "Yeah, that's me," I mumbled. She laughed, soft and kind, not cruel. "You didn't stay." I shrugged, avoiding her gaze. "Didn't think you were serious." "I was," she said, her voice low, steady, cutting through me like a knife through silk. Then she tilted her head. "You busy right now?" I blinked, caught off guard. Not really." "Then walk with me." It wasn't a question. It was a command delivered with such quiet allure I couldn't imagine saying no. My blood surged, a mix of fear and thrill, as I fell into step beside her. We strolled down a path lined with towering pines and blooming tulips. The conversation started light: school, my job, my vague plans after graduation. She was a freelance editor in publishing, moved to Seattle a few years back after a divorce, chasing a fresh start. Her voice wove a spell, pulling me in, making the world feel smaller, just us two. Despite the age gap, it never felt awkward. She was sharp, witty, her words sparking like flint on steel, making me feel like my thoughts mattered. I laughed harder than I had in weeks, telling her about delivery disasters, spilled sodas, wrong orders, oddball customers. She shared stories of bizarre manuscripts she'd edited, authors who thought they were God's gift to literature. Her laughter was a melody, warm and dangerous, stirring something deep in me. An hour later, we stopped by a small pond, ducks gliding lazily across the water. She turned to me, tucking a stray lock of hair behind her ear. "You're different from most guys I meet," she said, her voice thoughtful, her eyes searching mine like they could see my soul. My cheeks burned. "Is that good?" Her smile softened, a look that soothed and unsettled me all at once. "It's very good. I like shy guys. They're sweet." I couldn't believe it. Compliments weren't my thing, especially not from a woman like her. My heart stuttered, caught in her orbit. She pulled a small notebook from her pocket, scribbled something, and tore out the page. Her number. "I don't do this often," she said, "but something tells me you're worth the risk." Her words hit like a shot of whiskey, warm and dizzying. Before I could respond, she leaned in, her lips brushing my cheek, soft as a whisper, sharp as a blade. "Your move, Jake," she murmured, then walked away, her silhouette fading into the trees like a ghost, leaving me stunned, heart hammering, holding that slip of paper like it was a live grenade. I stood there staring at her number, my mind a tangle of want and fear. Part of me wanted to chase her. Part of me was too shocked to move. I walked home in a daze, clutching that paper. It burned in my hand, a promise and a threat. For days, that scrap sat on my nightstand. I'd pick it up, stare at the digits, put it down. It wasn't her I was scared of. It was what she represented, what she could unravel. I'd never had anything serious, just fleeting college flings, but Vivian, she was confident, elegant, a mystery. She made me feel seen, wanted, alive. For a week I couldn't bring myself to call. I drifted through classes and deliveries like a zombie, her smile haunting me, her kiss a phantom on my cheek. Finally, on a rainy Thursday night, I grabbed my phone, took a deep breath, and dialed. My thumb hovered over the call button, pulse racing like I was stepping off a cliff. 1 ring, 2, 3. I nearly hung up when her voice came through. "Hello," I froze. Hi, it's Jake, from the park, the delivery guy." A pause, then her soft laugh twisting my stomach in the best way. "I was starting to think you lost my number." I exhaled, shaky. Almost did. "Glad you didn't," she said, warm and real. Her voice was a lifeline pulling me under. "Dinner?" she asked. My throat tightened. "Yeah, with me." "Yes, Jake, with you." "I don't bite," she teased. I smiled, nerves easing, but I knew she could bite and I might like it. The next night we met at a small Italian place downtown. I barely slept, running through every possible scenario. My reflection mocked me as I fussed over clothes, jeans, button up my one decent jacket. I got there early, fidgeting outside the wet pavement, glowing under streetlights. Then I saw her, Vivian. A simple black dress, beige coat, her hair a soft cascade. She moved like a panther, graceful and lethal, stealing my breath. "You clean up nice," she teased, stepping close. "You look amazing," I blurted. Her smile softened. "Thanks." Dinner was unreal. Conversation flowed like wine, books, music, favorite films. She talked about her travels, her love for old jazz records, her dream of writing a novel. Her words painted worlds I'd never seen, pulling me in until I was drowning in her. She never made me feel small, despite her life dwarfing mine. "I admitted I was nervous to call you." She tilted her head, curious. "Why I didn't think you'd want to see me again." Her hand brushed mine across the table, a spark that stopped my heart. "Jake, I wouldn't have given you my number if I didn't want to see you." Her touch was fire, her words a dare. After dinner, we walked through downtown Seattle. Neon signs, glowing cars, humming couples hand in hand. We ducked into a late-night bookstore, laughing at absurd titles. Time slipped away, slippery and fleeting, until the streets emptied. Under a flickering streetlight, her face softened. "I don't want tonight to end," she whispered. Her words hit like a punch, raw and urgent. I swallowed, speechless. "Come back to my place," she said, voice soft but commanding. "Just to talk, or whatever feels right." My pulse roared, fear and desire at war. I searched her eyes for pressure, expectation, nothing but warmth. She smiled. "If you're brave enough, stay." Those words crashed over me again, pulling me under. I nodded. "I'll stay." She took my hand, her grip a promise, and we walked into the night, my heart pounding with the thrill of the unknown. Her apartment was a few blocks away in a historic brick building, ivy climbing the walls. We climbed narrow stairs to the 3rd floor. She unlocked the door with a soft click. "Come in," she said, her smile warm. Inside it was her cozy, elegant, bathed in soft light and the faint scent of vanilla. Books lined every surface, shelves, tables, windowsills. A small record player sat in the corner, vinyls stacked beside it. "Make yourself at home," she said, slipping off her coat and heels. Her ease unnerved me, her world so far from mine. She disappeared into the kitchen. I wandered to her bookshelf, fingers tracing spines, feeling like an intruder in her perfect world. She returned with 2 mugs of chamomile tea. "For the nerves," she said. I grinned, sheepish. "You noticed?" She laughed. "I've been around long enough to spot it." We sat on her couch sipping tea, talking softly. The jazz from her record player wove through the air, wrapping us in its spell. We moved from favorite authors to childhood memories, laughing over awkward moments. Her warmth, the soft glow of the lamps, made the night feel like our own private universe. The conversation slowed. She set her mug down, leaned back, and looked at me, her gaze heavy, peeling me open. "You know why I told you to stay that night?" she asked. I shook my head. "You're different. Genuine." I was curious. Still am. Her hand grazed my arm, sending a shiver through me. I don't know who leaned in first, her or me. Our lips met, soft, cautious, then deeper, like a tide pulling us under. The world faded. What happened next stays between us, locked in that night's haze. It wasn't reckless or rushed. It was emotional, intimate. A connection that burned slow and deep, like a fuse to something inevitable. We weren't strangers chasing a thrill. We were two souls colliding at the right moment, filling voids we didn't know we had. Hours passed. The city quieted, rain tapping the windows. I lay beside her, her breath steady, her warmth anchoring me. Her fingers traced lazy circles on my arm. "You gave me something I thought I'd never feel again," she whispered. I turned to see her face in the dim light. "What's that?" Her eyes half closed, she smiled. "Hope." Her words sank into me, heavy and true. I felt it too. We fell asleep, tangled together, the rain lulling us into a dreamless peace. Morning light slipped through the curtains, casting a soft glow. I woke first, watching her face serene, almost angelic in the dawn. I held on to the moment, knowing it might never come again. She stirred, opened her eyes, and smiled. "Morning," she whispered. "Morning," I echoed. We lingered in silence, unwilling to break the spell. She sat up, reached for her robe. "I'll make coffee," she said. Her ease in the kitchen, the normalcy of it, grounded me after the surreal night. We drank coffee, saying little, trading soft smiles. I didn't want to ask what it meant, what came next. I just wanted to exist in that fragile, perfect morning. Finally, I checked the time. I had to go. At the door, she said, "I'm glad you stayed." Her voice carried a weight that tugged at my chest. "Me too," I said. She kissed me, lingering just a second too long, a silent promise. "Call me," she said. "I will," I whispered, stepping into the quiet street, grinning like a fool. I didn't know where this was going, but for the first time in years I felt alive. Days later, I floated through life, buzzing with quiet joy. Vivian wasn't just the night we shared, she was the connection, the ease, the way she saw me. I kept checking my phone, waiting for her name. I texted her the next day. "Had an amazing time. Can't wait to see you again." No reply. My stomach knotted, but I told myself she was busy, needed space. 2 days, 4, a week. I sent another text, hesitant. "Hey, hope you're okay. Thinking of you." Nothing. I called, voicemail. Each unanswered ring tightened the vice in my chest. I replayed that night, searching for what I'd done wrong. It had felt so right. After nearly 2 weeks of silence, I couldn't take it. I had her address. I'd go to her apartment just to know. I wasn't crazy, just desperate for closure. It was a cold, gray afternoon when I returned to her building, ivy still clinging to the brick. I climbed the creaky stairs, heart pounding, dreading and craving what I'd find. I knocked. No answer. I knocked again. Silence. The apartment felt hollow, like a tomb. I pressed my ear to the door, nothing. Defeated, I went to the manager's office. A middle-aged guy with thick glasses and a clipboard looked up. "Can I help you? I'm looking for Vivian. 3rd floor corner unit," I said, voice unsteady. He frowned, checked his clipboard. "Vivian. You mean Miss Harper. She's gone." I blinked, stunned. What when about a week and a half ago, he said. Paid up turned in her keys. No forwarding address. The words hit like a sledgehammer. I stood there numb. You sure? He shrugged sympathetic. Sorry, kid. I stumbled outside the world, colder, the sky heavier. I stared at her empty window, feeling her absence like a wound. She was gone. No explanation, no goodbye. Had I misread her? Was I just a fleeting thrill I'd never know? The not knowing gnawed at me, sharp and relentless. Days blurred. I checked my phone, pointless as it was. I walked the park, hoping for a miracle glimpse of her. She was never there. Eventually, I stopped looking. I had to let her go, let the pain dull. Vivian was a chapter, not the whole story. It hurt like hell, but I didn't regret a second. She'd been real brief but searing. She'd shown me what it meant to take a chance, to be brave, to believe I was enough. One late night, walking home under dim streetlights, I let her go. I smiled, thinking of her. Some people aren't meant to stay. Some come to show you what's possible, to remind you love exists, even if it fades. At my apartment door, I looked at the night sky and whispered, "Thanks, Vivian." I stepped inside, ready to move on, carrying her memory forever.